Yo, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we are covering some reactions, kind of reviews coming out of the premiere for an upcoming movie, a big one, Masters of the Universe. Please, if you do end up enjoying this video or like videos like this, anything to do with movies, TV, pop culture, this is the channel for you. Please consider liking this video if you end up enjoying it. But more importantly, subscribe and click that bell. That way you're notified every time we upload. But yeah, I'm sorry if I do sound a bit different. I am currently under the weather, kind of just getting off of it. But yeah, so please bear with me. But we've got quite a few reactions coming from this movie. Obviously, we have reacted to the trailers for the channel. You guys can go check those out. And yeah, me and my brother, we both are very excited for this movie and think it'll be good. You know, Travis Knight, the director, is a really prominent and promising filmmaker, and I think, you know, the trailers have overall been good, and I think the buzz on it has been great as well. The more I hear from things like the score is great, and they've dropped clips that look very, very fun. So we're gonna go ahead and cover all of these. And yeah, hopefully they are good. I'm curious what your expectations are, though. Please go ahead and comment below any thoughts during this entire video, whether that's on the reactions or your expectations for the movie specifically. Anything, yeah, we'd love to hear it. But let's go ahead and jump right into it with our first one coming from Courtney Howard. As she says, Masters of the Universe's shaggy charms worked on me. A colossally epic time. Has a Guardians of the Galaxy style, Tupperware tone, and a radical message at its core. Nicholas Galitzine and Camila Mendes nailed it. Daniel Pemberton rocks the score with assist by Brian May, and it hits so good. Stay through the credits. Love to hear it. They seem to have a really great time with this movie, and seems like this movie has a surprise for us in the credits, which is very interesting. But this next one that we have comes from Jermaine Lucier, and he says, Masters of the Universe has a very fun, weird, yet enjoyable last 20 minutes or so. As for the rest of the movie, a mess. Serious played for laughs, laughs played for emotion. It works, it doesn't, it really tries, but ends up being too awkward. Great end credit scenes though. So they seem to really be mixed, almost negative on it, and wasn't a fan. But once again, that is 2 times in a row bringing up the credits. So I'm curious what that is. But we're gonna go ahead and move on. This next one comes from Chris saying, I loved Masters of the Universe, both a love letter to all things He-Man and a beautiful bombastic fantasy sci-fi crowd pleaser that wears its heart on its sleeve. It's insane this movie exists, but I'm so happy it does. I had the biggest smile on my face the whole way through, so they seem to really, really love the movie, which is amazing to hear. And yeah, that's great. Hopefully most of these are positive. I did kind of just bookmark and, you know, save all of these reactions. I didn't really get a chance to read most of them, so I'm kind of reacting to these pretty much simultaneously with you all. But the next one we have comes from BJ saying, I have the power to tell you that Masters of the Universe is what happens when you watch the cartoon, grab your action figures, and make your own adventure. An absolute blast, laugh out loud funny, and a fisto-powered punch of heart. I loved it. Everything you could want. So they seem to be another person that really loved it, which is great to hear. This next one that we have comes from Big Gold Belt Media, and they say, truly epic. Masters of the Universe captures the magic of classic 80s cartoons with modern visuals, crowd-pleasing action, and adrenaline-fueled battles that will give you chills. A nostalgic fantasy adventure that reminds adults what made Saturday morning cartoons feel legendary. That is interesting. I am curious how this plays for both adults who grew up on these types of shows and classic cartoons, but also children who are kind of, you know, seeing a new world that they might not have been exposed to before. So I'm curious how this lands with kind of all demographics. But yeah, they seem to really enjoy it. This next one that we have comes from Nick. It's a pretty long one. He says, Masters of the Universe has the power. It genuinely feels like a Saturday morning cartoon come to life on the big screen. It's colorful, vibrant, action-packed, and leans very hard into its cartoonish nature. It feels made for those who grew up with the characters in the 80s and 90s, but still carries a Marvel-esque, family-friendly tone. There are two truly fantastic action set pieces where Travis Knight flexes some strong creative muscles, and 𝙂𝙗𝙗 flexes his literal muscles. At times, it can feel a little too silly for its own good, and its hero's journey plot structure is very formulaic, but this is genuinely an enjoyable surprise, which is amazing to hear. I do think this movie will be a great surprise to probably most audiences that go into it, because I don't think the expectations are that crazy. Which is a good thing, and it could be a bad thing, but I guess that remains to be seen, and we'll see what that's like when the movie officially releases. But this next one that we have comes from Andrew, saying, Masters of the Universe is like a sister film to the first Thor. Struggles to find its footing in the first half, but once it locks on its themes of fragile masculinity and ego, it makes way for an incredibly fun time that's also visually stimulating. 𝙂𝙗𝙗 is great. So it seems like not only did he enjoy it, but it seems like this movie has things to say, which is very, very interesting. This next one that we have is pretty long. It comes from Scott Menzel, and he says, Masters of the Universe is everything this 80s kid wanted and more. It's gloriously campy, wildly entertaining, and non-stop fun from beginning to end. Travis Knight completely understood the assignment and delivered exactly what fans of this franchise have been waiting for. 𝙂𝙗𝙗 is perfectly cast as He-Man, and the entire ensemble fully embraces the cheesiness while having an absolute blast with it. Masters of the Universe might just end up being the biggest surprise of the summer. So much freaking fun. So it seems like they also really loved it, which is amazing to hear. This next one that we have, though, comes from Perry Nimrov, who says, bound to be one of the biggest surprises of 2026 for me. I loved Masters of the Universe. I'm a huge fan of a lot of the folks involved, but it was never really my thing growing up, and I kind of assumed the same would be true now. Also, based on what I do know of the source material, this felt like an immensely challenging film to pull off, but Travis Knight and co did it. I was totally swept away by this super vibrant, weird, and gleeful romp. It's downright ridiculous, but ridiculous works when the cast and crew wholly get the kind of movie they're making and are enthusiastic about going all out to bring it to life. Love to hear that. We're going to cover a couple more and then wrap this up, though. This next one coming from Jake, who says, Masters of the Universe is shockingly good. The action, the comedy, the drama, it all works. But above all else, the movie looks amazing. There was one chase scene in particular where I kept doing a double take because of crisp and clear it looked compared to most modern movies. So it seems like they were a huge fan of the visuals, which is really great to hear. But this last one that we are covering comes from Eric, and he says, I was excited going into Masters of the Universe. Big sucker of a sword sorcery, Frank Frazetta myth here, and I was jubilant coming out. A massive crowd pleaser, the kind of movie that electrifies every 12-year-old to keep dreaming of adventures. Loved it. And that's going to do it for the reactions, and they seem incredibly positive, which is amazing to hear. Travis Knight is obviously such a great storyteller, so I kind of always had confidence in this movie landing on its feet, but it was just about how much of a crowd pleaser it was going to be, because the trailers were kind of silly, and the movie does feel very silly. But as long as the movie understands its tone and what it's doing, and especially the people involved and on the screen do as well, I mean, this seems like a knockout of the park, and it seems like for the most part that's exactly what it ended up being, which is great to hear. You all tell me in the comments below, what do you think of all these reactions? How excited are you for Masters of the Universe? Are you a fan of this at all? Are you going in very skeptical? Do you have zero expectations? Are you not gonna watch it at all? Literally anything related to this, please let us know your thoughts down there in the comments below. We love discussing with you all, and if you made it this far and you haven't, please do us a favor, like the video, subscribe, and click that bell. It would help us out a ton, and it would be greatly appreciated. But other than that, it's been your boy KEIZI, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one.